we got a 1-1 count, 1 out. And here comes a pitch. That's going to be a base hit in the gap, and that could be a little bit of trouble here because Posednik round second. He's going to go for third, and they're going to send him to the plate. Do or die right here, and LD Bell is going to win this series. Now, as you can see, the folks from LD Bell are crowding around the plate, and they're also going to, I guess you'd say, dogpile Blake Henderson out there because he came up with the extra base hit they needed. And if you're Plano East, what a heck of a way to have to end it all. However, Plano East hardly has anything to be ashamed of because nobody even figured they'd be here. And they took it right down to the bottom of the second. But, boy, what a dramatic way to win it. If you're LD Bell, what a heartbreaking way to lose it if you are the folks from Plano East. Well, Jacob De La Cruz standing in now for the folks from Plano East. As we start the second inning, we had no score in the first inning. As we've said, Plano East taking on LD Bell. LD Bell leading this series 1-0. First pitch is a little bit outside as Bryce Kidwell's delivery just a little bit outside there. But as we were saying, Plano East cannot afford to lose this evening. They lose, and it's time to go clear out the locker room. Foul ball back, a 1-1 count. Pretty good night out here, Judge.
It is a good night. It's a beautiful evening. Although I'll tell you what, the wind is ripping out of the southeast and really blowing the flags like they're nowhere to go. If Jake Barnes, our cameraman, can get a catch of that after like a little break, we'll show you how bad the wind is blowing out here tonight.
It is whipping around a little bit, and that's popped up. I don't know if it's playable. If some foul territory, they're going to go give it a shot over there, and I don't think anybody got near it. So they had an opportunity but did not get near it, so we got an 0-2 count.
You know, Kevin, looking at the pitch count from the first inning, Bryce Kidwell only threw 8 pitches in the first inning, so he had a fairly efficient inning for the LD Bell Blue Raiders.
And here's Kidwell's 1-2 delivery. Here it comes. Swung on and missed. They struck him out, Judge.
Actually, I take that back, Kevin. He threw 8 strikes is what it was. He threw 14 pitches total. He threw 8 strikes and 6 balls. And so far in the second inning, he has thrown 6 pitches, 3 balls, and 3 strikes.
Here comes Clark Kahawaii standing in. He comes up with nobody on and 1 out.
Little quick fact on Clark Kahawaii. He is ranked 9th in the area, Kevin, in batting.
That one's a little high and tight, and so we got 1 ball on Clark.
His batting average is at .447, and that's with the minimum at bats at 45 at bats. And so he's ranked 9th in the area for Division 5A schools.
And that's pretty good. It sure is. That one's a little bit outside, so the count is 2-0. We might add Assistant Athletic Director Chris Ferris was up here in the booth just a little while ago. He's out here at this game this evening. Of course, they try to get some representatives from the administration office at all the athletic events, as that one's a little bit low, so we got a 3-0 count. And Coach Brents is out there in, I guess, Abilene tonight?
That's correct. He's in Abilene, Texas for the Plano East softball.
So you got a 3-0 count on the hitter, Clark Kahawaii. Here comes, and that one is a little bit high, so Clark's going to head on to first base. And they got a runner on first. That brings up Paul Garcia.
Well, Kevin, I'll tell you what, wisely Kidwell pitched around Clark Kahawaii because he's definitely one of the hot bats for Plano East, and so wisely puts him on first base. Now it's time for Plano East to come alive here in this second inning. They have been able to avoid the first big inning that LD Bell has in the first, so that bodes well for the Plano East Panthers.
Paul Garcia takes the pitch, and it's a ball, and he immediately looks over up the first to Clark Kahawaii and tells him to
hit the button.
Stay put. And Paul Garcia digging in, the pickoff attempt made over there.
Kidwell kind of struggling right now, Kevin, it seems like, here in the second inning. Plano East traditionally
Well, they're stroking it down into right field. Harrison Scheffler comes up to it, plays on in. Plano East has runners on first and second with a single by Paul Garcia, and that brings up Jacob Boucher.
And as the play in, what I was going to finish saying is that Plano East traditionally scores in the second inning. And so if we're going to do it, now's the time to do it. We avoid the big first inning by LD Bell that they traditionally have, giving Plano East the opportunity with 2 men on now at this point in the man in scoring position to take the lead early in this game.
And here comes the first pitch to Boucher. It is a ball, and so we got a 1-0 count. Now the crowd is starting to file in now. I don't think they have as big a crowd as they did last night, but Judge, as you were saying, that traffic out there may have something to do with it. Here comes the pitch. That's going to be a base hit to left. We'll see if the runner on second is going to go for it. He is, and Plano East is going to strike first this evening. The single by Jacob Boucher, and Plano East is up 1-0.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kevin, if I didn't know any better, I would swear that engineers and accountants must have a know-how on this deal, because the accountants on this one had figured that Plano East, if they're going to score, is going to score in the second inning. And that is one amazing statistic that's proven so far today, that they have, in fact, been able to score in the second inning and take the lead early here in this ballgame.
And here's Ryan Kravitz standing in now. And, boy, the statistics, I guess, are holding up as they lead 1-0. But as we have said, and it's bears repeating, they've got to win this evening or it's time to go home and clear out the lockers.
Well, again, Kevin, statistically, with LD Bell staying off the board in the first inning, Plano East now stands a chance to keep the upper hand here in this ballgame.
That one's right over the center of the plate for a strike, so we got a 1-1 count.
You know, and looking through the batting leaders, or the hitting leaders here in the Area 5A area, what we find is that Sam Lane and Clark Hawaii out of both these squads are the only ones in the top 50.
That one's a little bit inside, so you got a 2-1 count.
And Sam Lane is number 50th.
He's right at 50, huh?
Right at 50.
Ryan Kravitz with the 2-1 count. Bryce is having a pitch from the stretch. Here comes his delivery. That's way outside. In fact, that's going to be a wild pitch. And the runners, Judge, are all going to move up. So now they got 2 runners in scoring position. 1 out, 1 run, and 2 runners in scoring position.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, this is a very exciting ball game here in the fact that Plano East is showing that they have the skill set to play with an LD Bell. We knew that going into this, but they're showing it offensively when they would normally show it offensively. And so I'm kind of excited to watch this game begin to unfold for Plano East.
We got a 3-1 count to the batter, so they're in jeopardy of loading the bases right here. Three-one pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. I guess we're going to have a 3-2 count coming up, Judge.
Well, we've got to have a little dramatics here at the Coppell Cowboy Field.
3-2 was the count. They've got 1 out, but they got runners in scoring position right now, so this has been a good inning for them. And, of course, I don't want to leave any change on the base path. Here comes a pitch. That's a little bit outside, so, Judge, we're just going to load up the bases right now and bring up Ryan Redke.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm surprised we don't see anybody coming out of the dugout to speak with the pitcher, but we certainly don't, and they're going to leave him in there. And I'm going to tell you, Kevin, he has rattled off not such a good pitch count so far in this inning. In the second inning, he has thrown fairly poorly. He's thrown 18 balls and only 7 strikes for a 39% strike percentage here in the second inning.
That's up the middle. That's got double play written all over it. They get the man at second, so they get the guy at first. They can't do it. So Plano East is going to get a run out of there as Garcia is able to take the plate. Paul Garcia able to take the play. Now they got Ryan Kravitz with the 6'4" put out there, I should say. Yeah, the 6'4" put out. But Ryan Redkey reaches first. And so they got another run. It's 2-0 Plano East, and this has been a good inning for Plano East. And they're at the top of the order. Here comes Sam Lane.
And, Kevin, again, this is the inning where Plano East comes alive. I will tell you that they are right on target. They normally average 1.4 runs here in the second inning, and they are just above their average.
From the stretch, and that's got potential out there. That's in the gap, and I'll tell you what, it's going to drop. That's going to be a little bit of trouble because that's going back to the wall. One run is home. We'll see if they try to get the second run around home, and they do, and going toward third and making it to third is Sam Lane. He pulls in there with a triple. Sam just cleared out the base path as he got Boucher home. He got Redkey home, and Judge, they're up 4-0.
That's right, Kevin, and it's about time. I tell you what, I'm excited that Sam Lane has stepped up and shown why he's number 50th in the area in high school hitting averages, because he is the man batting .380 for Plano East, and what a mistake LD Bell makes in throwing to him something fat over the plate. They're lucky he didn't drive it over the green wall.
Well, where he drove it was very, very difficult for anybody to get a glove on it. As Gavin Gregory got over there, and for a moment I thought Gavin had the beat and the ball as he was angling in on it, but the ball not only dropped in, it dropped in an area where he was able to get back to the warning track. Then the carom came off at a little bit of an unusual hard direction, and by the time they ran it down, Sam was able to motor on there into second or into third with a triple. So they're looking good here. They got a 4-run lead. They got a man on third, and Nick Ramos coming on in.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kevin, this is what we want to see, a strong Plano East baseball. Batters that are driving through the ball when the pitch comes across the plate instead of just trying to slap it out there in the outfield.
A little bit low. They got a ball right there.
But Bryce Kidwell has really struggled here in this inning trying to maintain some form of control over his pitches, and he just has not been able to find that control. I am surprised that LD Bell leaves him on the mound with a 4-0. We're giving up 4 runs so far in this inning and not throwing a high strike percentage here so far in the second inning.
And not only that, Judge, this is his 8th guy he's faced. Now, that should be a can of corn as Harrison Scheffler gets on there. They fly out to right field, but not before 3 runs score. So, Judge, why don't you recap the inning for us?
Well, I'll tell you what, middle of the second inning, Plano East, 4 runs on 4 hits, no errors. There were 22 pitches thrown, and those pitches that were thrown, Kevin, not strikes, let me just tell you. And so due up in the next inning for LD Bell will be Henderson, Kidwell, and Daly. And so we will have to see what they are capable of doing.
Okay, we're back at you with that spot of the second right after this.